Hey everyone, it's Heather from the Raw Buzz. First reason is socially. Second reason is finances, and the third reason is mental. So I was 100% raw for about 2.5 years. I felt amazing. If you haven't seen my video, what I cured on a raw food diet, I talk about that, how it made me better. And I put out a video a while ago talking about when I broke my 100% raw and how it affected me negatively in health. A lot of people, when they're raw for a very long time and then they start eating cooked food again, they get pretty sick, and that's because your white blood cell count is pretty low, since it doesn't really attack the food that comes into your body. But once you start eating cooked food, your white blood cell count rises quite a bit, and there's a lot of compounds that aren't found in raw food that are in cooked food that your body can act to negatively. And when you're very healthy, it gives you a lot of signs like, oh my god, this is really bad for you. What the heck is it? Let's get it out. So that's what happened to me. Actually, it can be hard to eat 100% raw for an extended period of time up in New England, because you start to get a little bored because there's not a huge amount of variety. It's like any basic grocery store that you'd find across America, and there's only so much you can do financially and be financially stable. So I have started including cooked potatoes into my diet at night, and I hate white potatoes, I hate russet potatoes, I hate gold potatoes. They're so plain, but when you like add stuff to them, they taste really good. So I've been eating white sweet potatoes, and they're kind of like yams, but they don't have a crazy yam flavor. It kind of just tastes like someone put a bunch of sugar and flavor onto a normal potato. So I really like those. I also like yams a lot. I like sweet potatoes more. And I also like Chinese sweet potatoes or Japanese sweet potatoes, which are purple on the inside. And I have those at dinner. And I feel great. Like, I feel fine. Like, I don't feel as amazing as I did when I was 100% raw, but my mentality is a lot better. I used to have kind of a slight scarcity mindset when it came to food, feeling a little frightened when I was like on vacation, like, oh, am I gonna be able to find enough food? And my family goes to restaurants 3 times a day. They'll do like the hotel buffet in the morning, lunch, and then dinner at a restaurant. And I kind of miss the feeling of eating together with them, because what I would do is I would just like eat a ton in the car beforehand, so I would be kind of full when I went to the restaurant. And then I just kind of sit there and like eat a salad, and I didn't really enjoy that because the salads were so small and not fun, and it probably would have just been easier for me to like ask them if I could have like a potato, some rice, like some cooked vegetables even, and like it just would have been easier socially. So I did not go raw. I did not go off the raw for health reasons. I went off raw for very subtle social and like mental reasons and stuff. Having the ease of being able to eat like cooked starches when you are out and about, or when you're like at a friend's house, or you're in a situation where you really can't get a lot, then it's so much better. Getting back to my point about living in a cooler climate, if I lived in a tropical environment where I could get like jackfruit, durian, rambutans, whatever, it would be so much easier, and like I probably wouldn't eat cooked food, but I like having the variety. I really do. Calorie per calorie, sweet potatoes, bananas per gram, they are the same calorie. So if you have 10 small sweet potatoes, it's like 10 small bananas. And sweet potatoes are a little bit more expensive, not by much, but they taste great. And the first time I broke it was actually down in Florida. Now, I volunteered on this farm down in Florida in Micanopy, which is south of Gainesville. And the owners I stayed with and the people I stayed with were so friendly and so kind to me, and I was able to eat a very high raw food diet. And I was able to do this because of dumpster diving. They taught me all I knew about dumpster diving, and it was fantastic. I was eating like a champ, all sorts of fruits and vegetables, and I brought my own dates, so I was supplementing calories with those. We would get bananas sometimes. Sometimes they would buy me bananas, which was so sweet of them. And I had to work 4 hours a day. I think I was under eating because they had carrots, and so there was carrots and oil, and I'm like, well, that sounds really good, fried carrots. So I fried them, and I felt like crap afterwards, and that was a huge thing of me under eating. I didn't really know that there was like backed up cook plans, so that's what I ate a little bit. It was the fried stuff, and I was like, oh, I can't eat that again. And so I think it would have been a little bit easier if I was to eat cooked food at the farm at night, like maybe potatoes or some sort of pasta, rice, or something. Because we did get a lot of food from the dumpster that would be really good cooked. Like a scarcity mindset, feeling a little bit like worried that I wouldn't be able to get enough, and I think that would have been eased a little bit if I was to like eat cooked food. And don't get me wrong, these people on the farm were absolutely amazing. I don't think I would have been able to eat as well as I did anywhere else. So they also had a fig tree, which I ate a lot of fresh figs. So good. That's besides the point, though. I don't want to get off on another story. So this is what my diet consists of right now. In morning, I'll have a smoothie, either Gatorade or a banana smoothie with lots of berries. Really enjoying that, and sometimes I'll put in like 1/8 of a cup or 1/4 of a cup of almonds, and put like some strawberries. I love putting fresh ginger in it, maybe some vanilla powder, some carob powder, or some like pumpkin pie spice, which is like cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, allspice, pepper, things like that. And then for lunch, I will maybe have some orange juice. Really been enjoying honey tangerines, so I have orange juice. So and recently I've been blending greens into the orange juice. Sometimes I strain it, sometimes I don't, and that just helps me get more greens into my day. And I've also been doing green juices lately. I haven't done them in the past. I was curious, so I did one. It had 4 apples, half of a cucumber, a head of romaine, and some celery. I blended that, and then I put it through a nut milk bag, and I strained it. Oh my god, it made me feel really good, and it tasted amazing. Sometimes they'll have like dried fruit also. I soak the dried fruit beforehand, and I eat it like with a fork or something. I really like dried mango that's been soaked. Organic dried apricots that have been soaked are really good. So there's like a more variety in dinner. But what I've really been enjoying lately is a giant salad, and I take sweet potatoes and I cut them up and I bake them, but I put tin foil on the top so the moisture comes out and but they don't get like really dry. And then I put a ton of stuff in the salad. Some nights I'll have gluten-free pasta. My idea is I want to be able to really enjoy what I'm eating, have a great amount of variety, and do it on a very low cost. And so I found including cooked food into my nighttime, kind of like a Rotel 4, helps me save a little bit more money, but include more variety into my diet, which is extremely nice. So I have been keeping it low fat, eating more salt. I try to stay away from it, but sometimes it's hard to because it's like in stuff. And if I had a choice between eating something salty or something like really fatty, I would choose the salty thing, because the fat you eat is the fat you wear, and it's easier to get rid of salt in your body than it is to get rid of fat. A raw restaurant, they would have different options. It would be like raw pizza, raw cake. Sometimes they have like quinoa bowls, rice bowls, butternut squash puree, and beforehand I would have thought the gourmet raw stuff was healthier than the cooked foods, but in reality, most all nuts found in the US are cooked. So you're already eating cooked foods, and on top of that, you're eating all these fats, rancid fats that are not as good for you as carbohydrates. So if I had also the choice to eat gourmet raw now, or cooked food, cooked low-fat food, I'd go for the cooked food, because honestly, it is healthier depending on what you do. And I've been watching a lot of Freely and Harley's videos, and they've made me come to the realization that, you know, it won't be as easy for people to go raw as it was like for me to go raw, because it was very easy for me. And you have to look at the big picture, not the small little raw, like 100% raw or fail mindset. That's elitist. That makes it hard for people to even go vegan. So my thought is, what you should really push is more so like the vegan side of it. Yes, raw is very healthy. It's the best out of all of them. But if you have, you know, people could do raw during the day, but then if they eat like cooked food at night, and they have a backup plan, they won't fall off, and then like Harley and Freely say, go back to eating like KFC and burgers. It's really hard for like a lot of people to go raw, but it's a lot easier to go high carb cooked. Like, some people don't like fruit, and that's okay. They can have starches on the Rotel 4 forum or group, and it was a little pyramid. It was an inverted pyramid, but for ease sake, I'm just gonna do this. And at the bottom, it said tropical fresh fruits. So this is like, the bottom is the best foods that you could possibly eat, and the top are the worst foods that you could possibly eat. And second, on top of that, was fresh northern fruits. So that's like peaches, apples, berries, things like that. And then on top of that, they had cooked root vegetables. And so it's a hierarchy of, you know, possible best. You know, there's best, better, excellent, there's also worst, okay. So what you always want to try to aim for is the bottom. Sometimes it won't work up, so go a step ahead. Try the northern fruits. If that doesn't work out, go a step ahead and try the cooked root vegetables. Those are awesome. Go a step ahead, which is the cooked grains, which are still great. And then once you start like hitting like refined sugar, refined flour, it gets worse. And then what I found interesting was they had Not against fats. I think they're great in moderation. I think that once your fat percentage starts going up higher, your health is going to start declining. I have some cooked food recipes on my camera. I haven't shown them yet because I wanted to make this video before I showed it so people aren't like, whoa, no explanation? Come on, give us a video. So I'll post them afterwards, see how this video goes. There's some awesome cooked recipes that I think you guys will really enjoy who decide to eat cooked. It's still high carb. Be sure to leave your comments below. Subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I put out new videos every week. And for awesome recipes, check out my website at therawbuzz.com.